Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richard Billy Jr., and today I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
It's going. Wrestling for life.
Yes, we're also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
What's up?
So, two quick things to mention. Very good friend Ricky is not available to be on today's show, but just I definitely wanted to give him a shout out. Also, wanted to give a special shout out to Adam because it is his birthday today. So,
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Happy birthday!
Yes, I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm getting older. We all get older, but then the age starts piling on, and you're like, damn, I'm really getting old.
well, just remember, R. Kelly said age is nothing but a number. Even though, make sure you remember that.
Oh yeah, he lives by that motto. Oh damn. Oh, R. Kelly. Oh man, you never really know somebody. Shit.
That's true. You're right. So we do have a couple of topics to get into. There wasn't really a lot of major things that happened newsworthy this week, but we definitely wanted to talk about a few things. And of course, the main topic is going to be very interesting because I'm pretty sure we all have something to say about that. But first and foremost, just wanted to jump into the first topic. Did you guys have any thoughts on this past week's edition of Monday Night Raw?
Oh man. Damn. I'm zoning out. I watched it. I'm trying to remember. Was something memorable that stood out?
Well, I can
Um,
provide a couple of things that will remind. First and foremost, of course, we had the triple threat between Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe.
All right.
We had Jason Jordan's interaction with The Miz, in which will obviously be leading to a Intercontinental title match, I assume, at SummerSlam.
well, at least Ambrose out of that picture, right? But then it's still feuding with his entourage. They're
Oh
doing
yeah.
that whole thing, so which is pointless. I
Well,
don't.
well. That's the other thing. We also did get Ambrose and Rollins now. It looked like they will have a feud with Sheamus and Cesaro for the tag titles. Um, that's what they introduced this past week. But and then of course, we can't forget the main event that everybody couldn't wait to see.
Oh, that's right. That's why I forgot about this shit because that was a BS main. Who decided that shit? Who said, "Damn, Kaz and Big Show"? That's main event right there. Nobody. I'm sure people started saying, "Wow, I can go home early now." I thought I was gonna have to stay here and watch this shit. Nope. I could beat the rush and get to the car and go home because nobody wants to see that damn match. That I don't understand. That I don't get it. I don't know. The only thing I can think of, and WWE, they're big on trying to push some of their guys, but then also thanking their guys for doing a great job when it comes to certain things like their weight or working out. We see that with Jinder. He gets a big push. Big Show lost a lot of weight. He toned up. He did a lot. So I think this is it. Since I think he's toward the end of his career, he's like, you know what? You're not going to main event WrestleMania, I think, but you're getting the main event in Raw. You deserve it. So I think that's what this was about, But man, that was yeah. I didn't. I thought something was wrong. I thought something was wrong. I was watching this. I'm like, was there another match? Did somebody get hurt? Is this really it? Because even when I watched the triple threat match, I was like, oh damn, they're ending early because I thought that was the main event. And it wasn't. So oh well, that was a disappointment. Not disappoint. I can't say it was disappointment. It's like great for them, whatever. They get the spotlight, especially for big cast. But spotlight, I don't know if it's too much of a spotlight because then people like me zoned out. Like, oh shit, I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care
No,
about this whole thing.
you're not the only one. I was sitting here like legit trying to remember. I remembered that I watched it. Then I remember I don't remember anything from it. So I remember I rewound and watched some of it again, and I fell asleep. And then on the third one, I just didn't care anymore. So that is just my overall thing with the WWE. It's really hard for me to keep caring. And
Yeah.
especially when you put in a match like this, and I'm not trying to, talk badly about any of these people. You work hard, you do what you have to do, and you get your event in the company. But at the end of the day, I just don't care. And separately, Big Show is an amazing wrestler and he's great in everything that he accomplished with his whole thing. But it's just gotten to the point where this is not a storyline that I give two farts about.
Yeah.
It's something that we've seen coming, and it came already, and it should just be done and over with. I don't want this to be stretched out. I don't want this to be a SummerSlam type situation. I just don't care. They're creating these storylines that are just not very enticing anymore.
And we've seen this in the past with this, like when the Big Show comes in and he'll do a whole few, but he does it with the new guys, and we know the new guys are going to get over because they're new. He's there to help them out, so we already know the outcome of this whole thing.
Right, basically. And so it's just something that it's not, we don't care about. Yeah. I would rather watch Enzo and Cass feud again as opposed to watching Cass and Big Show. Like, to me, I still don't understand why Big Show is there.
He's big. He's big.
And so, like, let's just get a big guy to wrestle Cass. And then is it just because he's big? Like, is he interchangeable with any other big guy?
He's a giant. They like giants.
It's not working. I would rather Enzo and Cass, they do something with that and figure that out. As opposed to just, I have the Big Show, and now I no longer have to worry about Cass, and then Enzo is doing his own thing, which I don't even know what they're doing with him anymore.
No, well, if we hear these Brad Meltzer reports, it looks like, Enzo is on his way out. He's either going to 205 or NXT, but he is no longer going to be on Raw.
He needs to go somewhere. Unemployment line, OVW, if that still exists.
No.
All right, so this is the thing that I don't get with all of this. And it's like, man, what the hell is WWE doing with... I don't get if they're trying to work us or... So they have that show, right, on the network where... I can bring it to the table. Right? And they're bringing up real shit that we all know about actually happened. He's like, oh, yeah, Enzo has heat in the locker room. And they, and... JBL says usually guys that get a lot of heat in the locker room, they never make it. The only person that actually made it was The Miz. Everybody else, they're gone. So are you really telling us some shit, or are you just trying to play with the story? You know what I mean? So then that way you can twist it into an actual WWE story.
That's what I would, if you're going to do that, that's what I appreciate. I would rather have Enzo and Roman work out their situation. If you're going to have to bring it to the table part, work it out in the ring and create a storyline based on that.
Yeah. So that's why I'm confused. Like, what the point of this show is? Like, is that, or are you just verifying shit that people are reading on the dirt sheets? So if it's on that show, then so then there's truth to that. Or are you like, wow, that sort of sounds like a crazy rumor, but we can make a story out of that. All right, let's go with it. I don't know.
Right. But for anybody who just doesn't sit around and read the dirt sheets, it just seems like WWE is bashing their own product.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just very confusing at the end of the day.
Yeah, because if somebody doesn't read any of that stuff and then just tunes in on a network show and watches it, I'm like, yeah, why are you telling me this? Wait, what's the point of
said in the past how much their talent sucks and how much a show sucks. So you're not convincing me to watch your show. You're not bringing any type of things to the table that you want to go and implement that's going to be different, or it's not even like an apology. I am sorry, this show sucks. We are going to work with you guys. Write us in and tell us what you think about the show so how we can improve. It's nothing like that at all. So I'm just very confused about everything WWE is trying to do.
Well, like when Graves comes down, it's like, yeah, I don't get along with Enzo. I don't like him. He's in his character 24/7, and I just don't like. So I'm like, all right, you're coming out. That's truth right there. Okay, but I mean, that can't really be in part of a work or a story because you can't wrestle. He's retired. So, okay, I guess that's legit. But then what's the point of telling us this? I don't know.
I'm surprised that show's not canceled by now. It's like...
Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get what they're trying to do. It's like, I sort of see what they're trying to do because we've seen ESPN has a show like that. TMZ has a show like that. But the thing is, they're talking about real shit. And if you're trying to go real on all these topics, then it's gonna cause confusion, with all of this. I don't know, because if that's the case, then bring up the fact JBL, one of those guys needs to say, well, by the way, everybody thinks you're a dick and that you're a bully and you're the reason why Morrow quit. Bring that shit up, but they won't. So whatever.
That would never happen. That was a lawsuits accusations.
Yeah. So
they want to
that's why it's funny.
Image though.
That's
So,
why it's funny that JBL is even part of that show. Because I'm like, yo, you got the biggest prick on this show right now, talking
Oh,
shit about other people. Does that even make sense? Oh man.
one comment that I will make, yeah, you know, there could be some confusion as to whether or not they are playing off the storylines of stuff that's out there. I just think, you know, a lot of people know, at least from everything that we've seen, they know wrestling is fake to a degree. Well, it's all fake, scripted. So whenever they try to talk about the reality and try to twist and contort the storyline, I think as long as they keep people watching, that's all Vince cares about. They probably bring those particular topics to the table because they know people will want to talk about that stuff and they will get a conversation going. Whereas, you know, if somebody watches it and they're like, oh, well, I don't like what was said, then they're going to tell a friend, would you believe that they said this? Now that other person may want to watch the show also. So I think all they care about is the viewership, not so much, you know, whether or not it's real or a fake story.
but but it's hard to even say that when they got rid of Talking Smack, and that was one of their highest rated programs, and it felt like it was one of those off script moments.
Yeah. But the thing with Talking Smack though, it actually led to stories. You know, this Bring It to the Table can't lead to anything.
And it created.
You know what I mean? It's like saying all this shit about Enzo and stuff. What are you gonna do, JBL? You gonna fight him, or is Roman gonna have a feud with Enzo? No. So you're just basically spilling out a little bit of like the backstage drama to the world, so they can know about this shit. But you're not really contributing anything to the actual product. You know, and that's the issue I have with it. You know, it's like you know, we read it, we know it's happening, but why are you talking about it if it's not going to progress in any other way on the show? You know, so it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, definitely not.
You know, like what I want to know, and if this is the way they're going, are they going to? And this will be the best part of Bring It to the Table. Let's see if they actually do it. Are they going to mention the fact that Paige is telling everybody she's coming back to WWE? You know, and that they're expecting her back. Okay, so if that's the case, right, and she's just waiting for her doctor to clear her, bring it to the table. Be like, hey, you think she's gonna be able to come back and wrestle? I mean, her husband hates us. He does all these videos drunk talking about Triple H's nose. You know, she does porno with some of the wrestlers in the back, some alone, some multiple at the same time. Who knows? You know what I mean? What do you think? Where does she fit? Because in that interview that I heard her, and she was her in an interview, she made it seem like, oh, they can't wait to get her back. You know, it's like she's happy for the girls that are coming up. She can't wait to work with some of them, and you know, she's glad that so and so has a title, and you know, yeah, she's looking forward to it. It's as if all this drama that's been happening, all this shit, never happened. You know, and it's okay. You know, fine. I think the whole sex thing, I think whatever. I mean, she could just say she's a freak, whatever. No one, you can't hate somebody for that. You know, that's fine. But it's her relationship with her husband, with the company, that can cause problems. Is that always leads to the spouse of either way leaving. You know, we saw that with CM Punk. You know, once he left, we knew that his girl was gonna leave, and she did. You know, it's just what happens. So we know that El Patron is not coming back to WWE. You know, he's gonna be, you know, he's GFW champ, and he's gonna stay over there. You know, and they're gonna be separated. If she does come back, she's gonna be on tour with WWE constantly doing the whole thing. How's that gonna work? You know, unless I still can't figure that out. They're saying that first I heard they were married, then I heard they're not married. You know, supposedly they got married March 25th, and they're like, no, they're engaged. I don't know. I just don't know how that whole relationship is going to work if she does join, you know, the WWE Carnival again.
Well, I will make one recommendation to WWE if they do decide to bring her back. You might as well send her to Raw. Do not send her to Smackdown with Xavier Woods, one of her good friends from the past. But I don't know how they're going to treat that situation. I did see that interview also, and I thought that was interesting, a lot of the stuff that I did hear. But I also heard both her and Alberto basically saying, oh, well, that whole incident was blown up out of proportions. You know, she talks about, oh, I'm very good. You know, I love my family. They're like my best friends. Yet the family is the one that was saying they were concerned about her and being with this guy. So it's ridiculous. But Yeah, just one quick thing I want to say to jump back on to Monday Night Raw. I thought that I don't really understand what the decision was to have the cast main event, because this guy is not yet. He should not be in a main event yet. This is something that you have to build and earn over time. Obviously, they want everybody to focus on this match between him and Big Show, which will more than likely happen at SummerSlam. But Cass is just. I don't see how anybody can root for Cass. I'm going to say for Enzo in this situation, because he was the one that also interfered in that match. And it's like, I didn't understand that. One other thing that I didn't like about Raw in general is that, you know, the way that they end these matches, we had 2 matches back to back that just ended in BS, which is not really surprising. You know, I'm glad that the triple threat ended, so now Reigns got his victory over Samoa Joe, which I think means that Reigns is not winning at SummerSlam, but that's just my opinion. But then you had the women's match that that ended in also, and then we also found out after that match that Bayley is now injured. So I'm not really sure what they're going to do, whether or not that's a storyline. Although it looked like
she looked hurt. She looked hurt. It was that chicken wing.
They're gonna change the card.
So that is a legit injury then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, yeah, because they haven't provided an update, so that's why I was wondering. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I feel like Sasha Banks was going to turn heel anyway. Even if Bayley won that, let's say she wins her match with Alexa Bliss, if it did happen, I felt like then right at that moment Sasha Banks was going to turn heel and go after her, because everybody has been, that's what the direction that they're heading in with the storyline.
She's better as a heel. I mean, that's what got her over. She's the boss. Her cockiness. And it just worked for her. That's why I never understood when they turned her babyface. I'm like, why? Why can't she be like the Steve Austin of female wrestlers? Just be a pain in the ass, and people still cheered her even when she was a heel. So just leave it be.
I agree. So I don't know, but as for Raw as a whole, I mean, I know they're only a couple of weeks away from SummerSlam. I'm not really. I don't really like. I mean, the only match that I think that I will want to see from Raw is the Lesnar, Strowman, Reigns, and Joe match. I'm not really interested in the other matches yet. Like I said earlier, I know that they're building this whole thing with Jason Jordan going up against The Miz. I don't think that he has earned that title shot at all yet.
No. You're not the only one, though. I mean, SummerSlam isn't sold out, and usually by this time it is sold out.
Oh.
That's like one of the big ones. It's not sold out. The TakeOver Brooklyn, they said, is nowhere near sellout. So it's already, everything seems like it's just dying down, and they're trying to scramble to figure out how they can throw some boost. That's the other reason why they're thinking of dumping Enzo to something else, just to spike things up. Because people, enjoy seeing him and talk and stuff. I mean, I don't think he's ever won a singles match. I don't think I've ever seen him win a singles match. So
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you're not the only one. There's not much on this SummerSlam that draws real interest. And then that whole thing with now hearing Brock, whether he goes to UFC and all this, I think people are just phased out over that already. Like, all right, so he's teasing he might leave, because I think they're playing to it. I'm not sure if he's going to do it or not, but I think they're trying to see, like, if he loses, and then already a lot of people are like, well, that just guarantees he's going to lose. No, it doesn't. They're planting that seed, just to play with you, but it doesn't mean that. But then you hear Paul Heyman talking about that, if somebody else does get the belt, I think Joe should get the belt. And I agree. Joe is great on the mic.
I agree.
Joe can move. You want Roman Reigns as your baby face. He needs a good heel to work with. If Brock does leave, who's the heel? You know what I mean? Who is he going to work with? What's going on? So that'll be him. And then Joe will have the belt for at least 2 to 3 years. And then that's it. And then he'll get beat by Aleister Black. Aleister Black is the future. Holy shit, Aleister Black. Man, this good. A lot of people haven't seen him, and I guess because on NXT and all that stuff. But man, this is a superstar right here. They like throwing that term, superstar. This is money. This guy, he's gonna make buckets of money. So good for a big man too. He's got a good gimmick. The whole thing. They had him talk the other day, and I'm like, why? I don't want to hear him ever talk. I want him to be like Undertaker. Say 1 or 2 words and that's it. Just kick ass. Yeah, that's it. People watching, looking at Aleister Black or the End. That was his original gimmick. The End.
And one thing I will add. One thing I will add to that quick, what you just said is also, he does have a match at NXT against Hideo Itami, so that should be an interesting match because now Itami is a heel. But yeah, so if you haven't seen any of his matches yet on NXT, you definitely will have an opportunity to see it at NXT Takeover in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So,
he was at the last Takeover too. He beat up what's his name, the Mexican guy.
Oh yeah,
the white pants.
Yeah, that guy who can't win a match.
Can't win it. They gave him every once in a while. They throw him a bone and stuff. But yeah, it's like he's just a fixture, and that's the thing with NXT, and it's tricky with that because remember we all knew it was a breeding ground for up and coming talent, But then when you start trying to make it a brand, you can't have everybody jumping ship because then you're left in a situation like where you are now, where a lot of their favorite wrestlers that people really enjoyed have moved up, Finn Balor and then Owens and others, and so then it's like, all right, you have to build these other guys up, but then you're sort of starting from scratch because then the fans of those people pretty much stop watching. They don't give a shit, and so you have to introduce these new guys and then hope they get over. That's why I think they bring in a lot of Ring of Honor guys and guys from Impact and stuff, sort of have a following already, because then these people can then tune in, like, yeah, I already know who that guy is. Let me watch this. I know who he is, but because if they don't and they just bring in all these new guys that they're trying to develop, no one's going to watch, and I think that's the problem that they're having now because it's showing with TakeOver, it's just not selling, and a lot of their main guys have moved up, Joe and Finn and all of them, so you got to figure something out. If you're going to make it a brand, then you got to really make it a brand, and have some fixtures, like even if they bring Enzo over there, he's not really a wrestler, but make him a fixture, he'll always be there talking shit, make him a GM or something, replace the other dude. I don't know. Do something to make it feel different, like it's its own show and not where people are like, oh yeah, so-and-so's there, Bobby Roode there. All right, don't worry. I'll watch it when he jumps up to Raw or SmackDown. I'm not going to pay for the network to watch that shit. I know he's coming up. He's a big name. So, because that's the thing. A lot of people, when they hear about this, I talk to guys that they don't have the network. They follow all of wrestling, but they're like, oh yeah, I heard Bobby Fish, he showed up. Yeah. All right, so he'll be on SmackDown or something. So I'll watch it when I don't need to watch his match. And sure enough, his first match, Aleister Black, it was a good match. He lost, and that's a good twist to it because usually guys that are somewhat known that come in, they win their first match. That's always a thing. You win your match. Not this time, you lose.
That's true.
I remember Lucha Underground had that. It was it Dago or Drago? I forgot his name. But there was this guy, they were doing all these hype videos and he's fighting people in the street, all this stuff. First match, got beat clean. I was like, oh shit. You don't see that often. Usually they come in strong, winning matches.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they gotta just figure something out. But I mean, it's a lot of content. It's just like anything, just like leagues and other sports. You have a bunch of teams. Some will slip through the cracks. We think about it. We got Raw, we got SmackDown, we got 205, we got a women's tournament going on. We got NXT. We got they still do main event, right? The house shows. You got main event. They still got to set matches for that shit. They got all these other things. Plus, they're trying to do network shows, and then they're trying to do other things with these guys. Then they have the Total Divas and Bellas and whatever else. There's just so much going on. So, yeah, some of the stuff is going to slip through the cracks. Unless they have like a freaking 20, 30 team creative room, and everybody's just divided up in groups. All right, you 10 guys are just dedicated to NXT. You 10 guys are just, you know what I mean? Because that's it. You need like brain trust. You need brain banks of people just trying to constantly come up with stuff, just like any other TV show.
That's true.
It's just so much content. They're producing so much content, and it's even tougher when the shit's live. It's not like a scripted episodic TV show like a Law and Order or something that keeps pumping them out, but they have time to do that. And they have a group of people and they're writing them out and they have time and then they spew it all out at once. Raw and WWE, they got to spit those out live now every week. It's hard. So hopefully they can try to straighten it out and just don't overcome themselves with all of this. Because yeah, you're producing content, but damn, it's not the best content because you're spread thin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like when they say, "Oh yeah, can you multitask?" It's like, yeah, can I do a half-ass of everything? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do that. Because that's what really multitasking is. And if I'm breaking everything up, or do you want? Because I don't know if they have a team just devoted to just Raw or SmackDown. It's like, all right, just make a great product. Set these matches up. Set everything up. Set some long-term storylines. None of these quick one-offs, because that doesn't draw the fans to keep watching. I mean, the most hype we've heard in a long time was not really a match. It was that whole Kurt Angle. What the hell is he gonna say? What's going on?
Yep.
That drew a lot of buzz. People really cared, and that wasn't even a damn match. And then when they found out with this dude, Jason, it just went, like a plane that just went down. No one cared. No one cared.
Yeah. So hey, Jason Jordan, now he has an IC title match. So I guess I don't know. I
guess it's all about who you know. I'm telling you, I don't. He probably has one. We'll probably have to wait till he retires or gets fired or something, and then he goes on and starts giving his rants and stuff. I want to know, what did he do to earn this spot? That he just jumped the line completely, got thrown in the story. You're Kurt Angle's son. You're gonna be the man. How'd that happen? You know what I mean? Like, that's a big spot, and he didn't. I mean, he was in a tag team for the longest time, so it's not like
it was like a lack of storylines going around. Those funny little things that we as fans say, "Oh, he looks like Kurt Angle's son," and they thought of it as like a joke, and they actually made it a storyline.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
As simple as that when it comes to these writing teams.
Hey, I have a quick comment to make, because we had a comment in the chat from Paul. He says Brock is scheduled for the September pay-per-view. He says, I think he'll hold the belt until Rumble or WrestleMania. He still has 6 months to serve from USADA when he unretires from MMA.
Well, he's still suspended. I mean, he can still train. He can still announce a fight after that, even though he's suspended, So he can still do all that. So that's why a lot of people thinking that he will drop this belt. But he's still under contract with WWE, so they'll have to work out a working agreement like they did the last time when he went to fight Mark Hunt. WWE and UFC had a working agreement. They're like, okay, we'll let him out. You give us some money, you give us some promotion, and you can do this. And he's a big draw for them. He makes money. And I'm sure they can work the same type of deal. And he's gonna need time to train and also time to cleanse himself of the steroids. So in order to, see, people laugh, but remember, that's what busted him, because he wasn't really lying when he was like, yeah, I'm not on steroids now, because they found the cleansing solution in his bloodstream. There's certain drugs that you have to take to cleanse it out, and they found that. So then that's implying you're taking this because you were cleaning something out. And that's why they went to WWE and said, we want to see his test results from when you test them. And that's when we all found out that WWE do not test part-timers. Nobody knew that shit. I didn't know. I'm like, I thought everybody went through that. Nope. Part-timers do not get tested. And that's a good thing for him. That was a good thing for Goldberg, who came back, woo, super juice. Ooh, it looked like he went through a time warp. What? But it was fine for the moment. That's it. And you know what? Honestly, I mean, I don't care. It's scripted. I understand health reasons and stuff like that, but if this is what they want to do with themselves, it's not really Impact. It's not like a baseball player or something who can now whack like 40 home runs or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like, you could juice all you want, but if Vince says you're taking the fall, you're going down. That's just the way it is. Unless you're Jinder Mahal. But then besides that, that's it. So I think it'll be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But if he does leave, man, I honestly, I'm sort of over the whole thing with Brock. At least the way they're pushing him and the way they have him as like this like magical beast that comes in and just destroys everyone. Because there's no point to it. You're squashing your full-time talent with a part-timer. And it's like, that's not helping your product. Because you're having these storylines. Everybody's fighting and feuding to get to him, and then next Suplex City, and it's over. What the fuck? Don't need to see that. That's why with that Goldberg thing, and when he beat him, I was thrilled by it. And I was even more amazed when I found out that it was Brock's idea for that. He was like, you know what? It'll be better if he beats me quick. It'll sell more matches. It'll bring more hype. Because they wanted him to go over on that one and just end it. He's like, nope, we can drag this out. Just have him beat me. I'll come in cocky like, I can do anything. And then he'll hit me with, the spear and stuff and the jackhammer. And that was smart for business right there for him to do that. A lot of people were surprised he even suggested some shit like that but they don't understand. He don't give a shit. It's all about money. You paying him, he'll lose the fucking belt. He don't care about that belt. He cares about the paycheck. He's openly said he does not watch wrestling. He doesn't care about the product. When the other wrestlers, they're all supposed to stay in the back and watch the rest of the matches, until the show is over. Nope. Once he finishes his segment, he's fucking out the door. He's gone. He doesn't do anything. He gets a pass on all that because, he's part-timer. He don't care. He's a special attraction. So he doesn't see himself as one of the boys or as a wrestler.
That's true.
So with that, you know what? And now to think about it, JBL too. JBL saying people that have heat never make it. Fucking Brock had more heat than anybody. He still made it. You know what I mean? People still hate Brock, because of his attitude. He don't want to work matches with guys in the back and talk. He don't give a shit. And he still made it. It's all about who you know and your physique. And Vince loves big dudes. So it doesn't matter. Fucking Brock could be pissing in everybody's school bags. He don't care. Brock is still gonna be Brock.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Any final thoughts on Monday Night Raw before we move on to the next topic?
No.
It was boring.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the show everybody talked about this week, which was Smackdown Live. And we had Shinsuke Nakamura defeat John Cena. We also had the announcement of now Shane McMahon becoming the guest referee in a U.S. title rematch between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. And one other match, we had Chad Gable versus Rusev. And the announcement that now Rusev is going to face Randy Orton at SummerSlam, which I give a thumbs down to. But what are you guys' thoughts on SmackDown? Was there anything that you enjoyed or didn't like?
Well, it looked like Shinsuke almost killed Cena. With that. Holy shit. When I saw that, I cringed. I cringed like when I saw Sid Vicious jump off the top, in that match, and he broke his leg. Oh, God. And it was twitching. That's the way I cringed, because I'm like, he's had surgery on that neck. And I'm like, fucking shit, that looked so bad. When I saw that, and I mean, when he stood up and he shook his hand and all that stuff, yeah, Shinsuke said sorry. He knew, but still, man, that looked bad. That looked real bad. And then the shit with fucking Shane, I don't get how do you make him special guest referee? Not even, was it a month or two ago? Didn't Shane fire AJ? Didn't they have their own shit where they hated each other? They had the match, and now you're the special guest. You're basically telling us you're going to be biased and you will help Owen and you're going to be the heel now. You know what I mean? That just makes no sense.
See, here's the thing. That's a good point, but I think it is going to be in the opposite direction, because I know that they wanted to have Kevin Owens versus Shane. So this is a reason to lead into that now, where, Shane, screws over Owens or whatever, and Owens doesn't like the result. And then now you get Owens versus Shane at the next pay-per-view.
Why is everybody wanting to get Shane out of the damn picture? He is not a wrestler. He is not an attraction. Holy crap.
He's entertaining to me.
Well, he's entertaining just like Enzo's entertaining, but I don't want to see Enzo wrestle, and I don't want to see Shane wrestle. Put him on the mic, do your little shuffle with your dance and all that shit. They both do the same dance, just Enzo does a little hair thing, but they both do that little shuffle. But I don't want to see him. I mean, it doesn't do anything for me. And I hate that they hype him like he's Triple H. Oh, damn, Shane is going to come into this match. Oh, my God. No. It doesn't work for me, and it's not a draw. I don't think people care. No one's going to care if they announce, guess what? Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon, crickets. No one gives a shit. Don't want to see that. They got too many good, talented guys, whether on NXT or even on their damn roster now, that they can use. They don't need this. They don't need this. Shane don't need this. What is it? What merchandise? What is he selling? You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? You're rich. This is your shit. Stop hogging up TV time. You know what I mean? It's like, do something else. Don't do it. Let other people step in and actually, earn that spot. It's not right. Not right. Shit, if we can have Enzo come in as a special guest referee, that'll throw everybody. Oh shit! That's it. We got a new addition to SmackDown, and he's gonna be special guest referee. So I don't know. I don't see the big deal with the whole Shane thing. I don't get it. I mean, the guy just survived the plane crash, and he needs to go and rest and meditate. He don't need to be doing this shit.
Yeah, I agree. But hey, I know Dana said she wants to be entertained. So
what do you like about him, Dana? Dana, what do you like about him?
I literally have no problem with it. He's entertaining. He reminds me of my childhood. That's all you need. Literally, that's all you need. I feel like he was shortchanged in the full way and the capacity of which he could have been had he stayed a wrestler. So I'm excited. He gets his second chance. We all deserve second chances.
Well, Dana, you said it's your childhood, right? You remember? So then do you remember? Wait, do you remember that he was just jobbing to everybody? Remember, he was taking the ass. He was getting tossed through glass. He was just throwing his body all over the place. You know what I mean? That's what he was there for. He was following Mick Foley.
And was like, oh my gosh, this is great. He died in every fight he was in, but you was like, oh, this is amazing. You watched the Titantron. You watched him go against Angle. You watched him crash through, glass pane windows, and you was still entertained by it. To me, he's still entertaining. He cannot wrestle, but he's entertaining in what he's able to do.
So then you're expecting him to take an ass whooping. The man has 3 sons.
Absolutely.
He has a family now. I don't know if he's going to have those type of matches in him. You saw what happened. Roman almost killed him in one of those matches.
Well, wait a second. Wait a second. Now that you said he has a family, now you have introduced exactly why he will go against Kevin Owens, because they can both say, well, we want to do this for our family. Kevin Owens, that's the whole gimmick they gave him in NXT, where, yes, I fight for the title, but to also for my family. But
also to break his son's heart, because his son said his favorite wrestler was John Cena.
Well,
and he told his wife, I always remember that. And the wife filmed the video because he didn't tell his son that he was going against John Cena that night. And he also didn't tell him that he was going to win. So then he's watching this and he sees his dad beat up his idol and takes the belt. How often does that happen? Anytime, anywhere? It doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Maybe in boxing, somebody says, I'm going to beat that guy's ass and take his belt. What? That's my favorite boxer. And it happened? I don't know. But, man, he did it. So, but that's the thing. So I just don't see the point at this point in his career for Shane. And then it's just with all the wrestlers there. We just talked about it. There's all these guys slipping through the cracks. There's other people to fill that spot. You know what I mean? There's other people that can come up to do that. Hell, your boy Insanity can go and do that.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually. I know they have a title match now for the tag titles against Authors of Pain at that NXT takeover. So
that's not him though. That's the 2 big dudes. I'm talking about what's his name? Oh my god.
Oh, you're talking about Eric?
Eric Young. Eric Young. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, there's a tag match, but he's not involved in that.
That's true.
I don't think he even has a match.
Oh, he doesn't. You're right.
It's like, what is he doing then?
Well, that's a good question.
He was their mouthpiece, and that's the thing. So it's like, just bring him up, do something.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll send Enzo down to NXT. He could have a feud with him next.
Well, Enzo needs to first, before he does the 205 or NXT, he needs to go to the Performance Center. They need to do a documentary about how they decided now to finally teach him how to wrestle. And then that's it. I mean, he's good at bumps. If anybody wants, no doubt, he's good at bumps. He can take bumps. We've seen he gets tossed around. Hell, the finisher they had was a grown man throwing another grown man. But he needs to know how to, just hang a match and win. Because he would go in there, do his little dance and all the shuffle. He would take a bunch of hits, and then he would tag in Kaz. Kaz would do all of the big moves. And then next Enzo climbs up on the top rope. Kaz throws him, match is over. So it always looked like Kaz, if you look by numbers, yeah, it looks like Enzo's won a bunch of matches because he got the final pinfall, but he never really did anything in the match.
Absolutely right. Well, we'll see what happens. 2 quick things I will say. Yeah, I mean, I I have said before on the show, I don't like that AJ Styles is in these U.S. title matches. I feel like he should be competing for the world title, but I mean, I guess we'll see what happens, what the long-term plan is for this. But
because you just brought up the world title. This is
yeah.
I'm confused. I'm confused by this. That what's his name? Randy Orton came out and said that he had no match. I mean, no opponent. When Rusev had no. I mean, so that's it. You're done. You're not going for the title anymore. You got screwed.
Oh, it's over.
John B. And you're finished. You're like that's. I didn't know that was the end of that feud. I didn't know it was over like that quick. That he just said, "Ah, fuck it." Yeah, Rick Holly came. He screwed me in the match. You know, you hear these guys are always going in the backstage to Shane, bitching about how they got screwed. Did they say that? They say, hell, that's the whole thing with KO. You know, they screwed me. You saw this shit. You saw the ref and all that. Well, how come Randy Orton is doing it? How does a guy who's not even in the company anymore get to come down the ramp, climb up the top, choke the shit out of him, okay, and then cost him the match? You know, I mean, come on now. But then, you know what? Forget that. That was in the past. That was a week ago. Fuck that. No.
Yep.
Wash the mind. Now I'm going to start a feud with Rusev. So then, who is Jinder going against?
Oh, well, he's going against Shinsuke Nakamura. And
that's right.
I will say this now that, you know, I think a lot of people will be angry if Shinsuke doesn't win that match because a lot of people still not convinced that Jinder is, you know, deserves that belt or should be in this particular position.
They have to give it to Shinsuke. They pay Shinsuke too much money not to be champ. He has to do it. He has to do it. You know, and he's a bigger name. He's a bigger name overseas, huge name. You know, if they want to make a big impact in Japan with the WWE network and stuff, they need to put it on him, just like they did with India. Did you see the stats? Did I send you that picture?
I didn't see that.
Oh, I didn't send it to you. So you know when and anybody listening, do you know when SmackDown and Raw toot their own horn and they put up those splash screens of "Did you know we had the most tweets or whatever, blah 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 blah." They did another one. And they said, did you know that it's like India, they had like over like some ridiculous million views. You know, the viewership has gone up in a ridiculous amount for the network stuff. And it's all because of this. You know, so it's like they're pointing that out. So, okay, fine. He'll have the belt. He'll be up there. And I think they're going to keep him around for a while because he's hitting that group that obviously want to see him wrestle. But the same can go for the Japanese market. You know, they want to make an impact there. Especially with the way New Japan and now New Japan World has their own network service. So, you know, people know Shinsuke. You know, so if he wins that title, mind's blown over there. They're going to be like, wow, they gave him the big belt. You know? So I see Shinsuke getting it. He has to get it. You know, just for a business point of view, he has to get it.
Well, Danny, you were saying something.
I was just saying that I wish that they would actually go with it and get that Japanese market, and we can actually see, you know, Japanese wrestlers in their natural, wonderful glory of wrestling instead of whatever it is that they're trying to do now with them.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, did you see the link to the whole Shinsuke? Did you see Austin Aries' comment about the John Cena thing?
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, when he said, well, at least he didn't break your eye socket. Like, and I forgot all about that. That's how we got hurt. And that it was Shinsuke that cracked his eye socket.
Yeah, that was a brutal injury. I did remember seeing that image. I did see that. You know, I guess after he saw the reaction that people had to the tweet, that he also sent out another tweet and he acknowledged the fact that it was a mistake that what happened in the ring. So it didn't mean he was trying to go after Nakamura, which I thought was interesting. But
I mean, it's just even if it's like in humor, I mean, you're always going to get pissed, especially if you're an athlete like that and you get hurt by somebody, whether it's an accident or not. It still, you know, happened. You know, I'm sure Tyson Kidd has a lot to say to Samoa Joe about shit, you know, because I mean, his career is pretty much over because of that. But
yeah, it's definitely over. Yeah, it's a good point. Let me just say this real quick. I absolutely hope that Shinsuke wins. I'll be one of the people that will be angry if he loses to Jinder Mahal. I do know that the India tour is in September, which makes me think that, well, he still might get screwed out of the victory. But one thing that I did want to mention, and I have to ask this question, what is the likelihood that y'all think that Baron Corbin will cash in at SummerSlam on Shinsuke if he wins the match?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's now. Do you have to cash in on that belt, or can you cash in on any belt?
That belt.
That belt. So you can't cash in on like.
Yeah, I think it's the world. It's only that world title. They never really changed.
Can't cash in on like the Universal title, so he can't cash in like just show up at the other show.
No, I think it's for the belt. I think it's for the match of which you won. So it's for that belt.
Who was it that held it for like over a year and didn't even cash it in? Yeah, there was somebody. I think was it what's his name?
Not Ziggler.
No, it's Ziggler. Oh man, there was somebody who held it for over a year and didn't cash it in for some reason. I think it's what's the big Irish guy?
Sheamus.
Sheamus. I think it was Sheamus that had it. I don't know, but I don't know. I think it's Sheamus. But the whole thing is I think they need to cash it in when it makes sense story wise. Throwing him in the mix like that, it doesn't make sense. So I don't think he's ready for that.
Well, see, that's the thing, because I know he had a little feud with Shinsuke prior to all of this, and then you had Shinsuke beat him on SmackDown, and then the next week Shinsuke gets that match with John Cena. So,
but just think about it. Think about it. If you do this and he does win, and he cashes in, and he takes the belt, you just threw him up in main event status.
Yeah,
he's gonna be in the main event from there on until he does some fucked up shit on Twitter or something else. So he's gonna be up top. You think he's ready for that?
Oh, what, Baron Corbin?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Because that's it. That's what happens once you get that belt. The spotlight's on you now. So it's gonna be on him, and he's gonna be doing a shitload of promos and other stuff, and he's gonna be hyping it up and doing big matches. He's gonna be the man.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't think he's ready, but I still would prefer him over Jinder at this point. Now I understand they gotta, appease the audience that likes to see Jinder as champion, but at some point Jinder will lose that title, and then I'll be very curious to see what direction they go.
Jinder's gonna be a top guy. For at least another year or so. They put too much into it. He's got the new gimmick. He's got the video pack. He's got 2 henchmen that are paid to work with his matches. You know what I mean? Those 2 guys don't do any house shows. They don't do any matches for 205. Right? The Sin Brothers. They don't do anything. Their whole point of the company now is just to work for him. So I mean that's a lot to invest. That's other paychecks and stuff that like, what? Yeah, we could be giving these guys their own push and a tag or whatever. Nope, they're Jinder all the way. You know what I mean? So they're investing a lot of time and money into him, and they're seeing it pay off. I'm going to send you that screenshot. I took a screenshot of that. Those big numbers prove this shit's working for what they want in the market they want, and WWE Network they want it to grow. So why would they just have them disappear after they do the Indian tour, the India tour? They're not going to do that. Not going to do that. They're going to keep them around.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
He's always going to be one of their top guys, unless he gets off the juice and he shrinks, or it just doesn't work anymore. And then now the viewerships are going down, and they notice no one in India gives a shit, and they're like, all right, well, there goes that. But again, it's just Vince liking the big dudes. That's it. Guy got big. Oh, you swole up. Now you get the push.
Yeah. Well. Let me ask another quick question. This will probably be the last question I ask for this particular topic. So here's the thing. Yeah, I like I said, I'm not really a fan of Jinder. I will agree that yes, he has the physique that Vince likes. They've done an okay job with him, but this is the question that I have to ask, because that when he had this feud with Randy Orton, the whole angle of the heel is, well, the fans, the fans boo me because I'm different from everybody else, all this other stuff. So what is he going to say now that he has this feud with Shinsuke? Because Shinsuke is also different. That is what I've been trying to figure out since this.
The Japanese is way more accepted than the Muslim guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what the story would be.
Absolutely, they don't view the Japanese right now as terrorists.
Ah, okay.
They're not the enemy in this era. You know?
That was like back in the 40s.
World War II when we were putting them in camps and shit.
Yeah,
we thought they were all fucking terrorists.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he can easily have the same gimmick.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I look forward to seeing that when they start to build that, what he's going to say. That's interesting. But any final thoughts on SmackDown before we move on to the next topic?
No, we'll say one thing. I enjoyed it. And I haven't been enjoying it for a while now. I thought it was rather boring before, but they seem to have got their little mojo back. And I thought it was thoroughly enjoying, and I remember it, unlike Raw.
I think Rusev should get a mohawk and change his name to Zangief because he looks so much like him now. And I'm like, and with the screaming and stuff, I'm like, give him that finisher, like that spinning sit-down powerbomb. I mean, he looks so much like Zangief from Street Fighter. Yeah. So, but he's funny. He is really funny, and it sucks that he's so funny and he has that big burly look because they just don't go well together. You know, but man, he's funny. He's a funny dude.
He is a funny dude. It also sucks that he came back only so he could help people like John Cena and Randy Orton get more victories. So I don't know when they're going to actually give him opportunity. This is supposed to be the land of opportunity, but where's his opportunity?
It's okay because John Cena is going to be in Terminator. What? No, not Terminator. Transformer movies and other shit.
Yeah,
he's on his way out. Randy Orton. I don't know how much more time Randy Orton has. You know, so he didn't have to worry about it. I mean, these guys, just like anything else, people age out and just move on to other things. You know, and he's still new. He's still new to the biz over there. So he'll be around. He has the look. He's a big dude. You know, Vince like big dude. So as long as he stays big, he'll always have a job with them. You know, and that's it. About his wife, I don't know if she'll have it. I mean, I don't know how that's going with the wrestling. But.
Oh well, they'll always have her around. Vince wants all the guys looking at her. You know, so yeah, they'll find a way to have her active. But yes, let's move on to the next topic. This is something that I'm going to let Dana talk on because it involves one of her favorite female wrestlers in WWE that is no longer with the company. We're going to talk about the fact that WWE has now released Ho Ho Hun, and excuse me if I said the name incorrectly because I don't even know who the hell this is, and Eva Marie, who is Dana's favorite. So Dana, what do you have to say on this particular topic?
Honestly, when they announced that she was being released, I had to say, huh? I thought that she was already released like a year and a half ago since she's been off of television. That's just how little I care about Eva Marie. And like, I really don't have much to say about her because she's so forgettable and so just bad. So yay for WWE for cutting the cord. If we can continue to cut more other wrestlers, that would be nice. But, you know, that's a start. It's a good start. I'm very happy. They got rid of the dead weight that I thought was already gone.
Yeah. I knew she was recovering from some injury because remember they had her do some in-ring work. She was doing a whole storyline with somebody. I forgot who it was, but I remember she was doing matches.
She did a storyline with Brian Kendrick like a year ago. That was helping her recover and to train her and prove to people that she could actually wrestle. So, other than that, I know she always just seemed really miserable about the whole wrestling thing. If you followed any of her Instagram posts or even her tweets, she always just seemed to be miserable and she wanted to be like that action superstar. I remember there was an incident where they had The Rock introduce her at one of the films that he was doing. I'm not sure which one. I think one of the Fast and the Furious ones. And she was there on the red carpet, and somehow in her head she thought that is what people wanted her to be. It was like this movie star, and that clearly is not going to pan out. So she just seemed really miserable. So I'm happy they finally just got rid of it and got rid of her.
No, I feel like she's too much makeup, too much of everything. It just doesn't look right.
The boobs are just weird. Her body, she has a beautiful body, but it's just so proportioned and fake.
Yeah, it just doesn't look natural. Everything about it doesn't look natural. But I just didn't think she was a good wrestler, and I think that was the thing. A lot of people just booed the shit out of her. She shouldn't have been in the ring, you know. So it'll work out for her. I'm sure she'll do some modeling or something.
Porn is always there.
Porn is
Whoa, hey,
always
whoa.
there. Yeah, porn for life. When in doubt.
I don't know if we want to endorse promote that type of lifestyle on this show.
Man, you'd be surprised how many of these female wrestlers are doing that now. Those private sessions. Did you hear about this?
Oh no.
They all do these private services. You didn't watch that documentary, that Glow doc, and that Sunny even does it. Remember Sunny?
Oh, I know about Sunny. I've heard a lot of stories.
So they have like it's through some service or something, and it's like you pay and you get these private viewings, whether it's pictures or some of them have videos, you know, and they do certain things for certain prices, you know, and you get to watch, you know, and I remember I saw this on one of the girls on Glow, and that a doc was doing it. And I had to look it up. I'm like, what does this mean? She said, I do private matches, private viewings. What the hell are private viewings? And that's what it is. Whether it's like, you know, playing with themselves or doing other things, you pay for this and you get these private sessions. You know? Yeah. So there's always money. There's always a way for people to make money out there.
Interesting.
But I'm sure she'll get into movies or do something. I don't know. I think, wasn't her husband a model or something? I remember.
I thought the husband was like into fitness.
Yeah, he was doing something. A fitness instructor for some people. I know he was doing something else. You know. But he's not a wrestler.
No, he's not a wrestler at all.
So it'll work out then, you know, because
it'll be fine.
Yeah. And the other dude that you told about, they made a big deal about him. He was in the cruiserweight title, the tournament that they had, because he opened up the first wrestling school in China or something like that. That was the thing that they were hyping up.
Okay.
And he had some matches, but it was nothing stood out, you know. And I guess they just didn't know what to do with him.
Well, I see now that he requested the release because he had to deal with some family issues. So he may be back. Yeah. Once that situation is worked out. We'll have to see about that.
You know, it's a big deal. I mean, especially when you relocate to another country. You know, I can't imagine that. You know, especially if it's a different language. Not like, oh, you go to England or something. You're like, oh, they in English. You know, but let's say they move you somewhere like, let's say China. You know, even like these wrestlers that go to Japan. You know, they do these tours, but it's very rare that you hear that someone just moves out there permanent. It's tough.
Very tough. Very tough.
Unless you're Kenny Omega and you pick up the language and you're fluent in it, and then you're one of them. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Well, we'll see.
Wait, we gotta talk about the butter game. Ooh, 2K18. Oh, did you see that gameplay? Did you see that gameplay?
Wait a second. Well, we're almost there. We're almost to that topic. That's going to be
man, that gameplay was hot.
Yeah, I know Dana can't wait to talk about it. You know, she saw Seth Rollins' abs glistening off the screen. So there's a lot to talk about, right? Yeah. Before we get to that topic, though, well, anything else to say first and foremost on these releases?
No, just keep it up. Bring out some more.
Well, there will be some more. There will be some more. I'm sure of that. It's a question of who, but we'll see. So one very quick thing to talk about before we get to the main topic, which is WWE 2K18. Apparently, there has been some news coming out that Summerslam is now going to be around 6 hours long. I believe this includes the pre-show as well. So, Dana, I think you had a couple of thoughts on this. I know Adam and I also have thoughts on this, but tell us, what do you think of the 6 hours of wrestling? Are you looking forward to sitting in front of the TV for 6 hours in about 2 weeks?
Overkill. And here's the thing. I would be perfectly fine with this if we didn't already have, after that, Raw, NXT, 205 Live, and Smackdown to watch the next day, after, the next week following this. It's too much wrestling. I'm exhausted. This is exhausting. And a majority of these matches I give a flying fart about. So to me, that's the issue. Too much, and you're not giving me enough. What you're giving me, what is it? Quantity over quality.
Yep.
So I'm going to be drained. I don't even know if I can make it through.
It's even longer than that because you got to count Takeover the night before.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And is it safe to say that Takeover will once again be the better show than SummerSlam, or is it?
Oh, not safe now.
Not safe now. Uh-oh. Well, hey, maybe we could be surprised. So one thing I will say real quick on this, the 6 hours is definitely overkill. I actually will be watching SummerSlam, though. I will be back in Boston that weekend, so I will get a chance to watch it with Ricky at some point. I highly doubt that we will be watching all 6 hours of the show, though. But I think that the card could still be somewhat okay. I mean, I don't really like the SmackDown matches compared to a few of the Raw matches are interesting. But I mean, it might not be that bad. I know when we had our show on WrestleMania, we all dreaded WrestleMania because it's like, well, this is also a long pay-per-view, but this show might not be that bad. But then again, we'll see. We'll see.
They need to break it up. They need to break it up like New Japan when they do their G1 tournaments. Multi-night events.
Yeah, I agree.
They need to break it up because 6 hours straight. Come on now. That's too much. That is a lot. That's a lot to watch at home when you can get up and go to the bathroom and eat something, make a sandwich. Imagine being at the event for 6 damn hours. You know what I mean? It's like, and then have to get up and go to the bathroom, go to get concessions or whatever, and then just feel uncomfortable that you're sitting in this cramped space for 6 damn hours.
See,
you know what I mean?
That is the equivalent of working a day job.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yo, your boy went to work. He's like, he come out. It's like, all right, did I miss anything? It's still going, buddy. It's still going. It's like, shit.
But we do have one guarantee though. That cruiserweight match, I'm pretty sure everybody will be using the bathroom when that match happens once again. So there'll be lines probably to get into the bathrooms by at that point in time. But yeah, well, 6 hours is a lot. That's a while. That's a lot of time.
We are in August. Wait a minute. When is it? Wait, when is that? It's SummerSlam is.
Oh yes, it's the 20th, August 20th.
I don't know that. I'm trying to do the math on some names that I know that are going to be free agents in August, but a lot of them are from Lucha Underground.
Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet. Because I know. Thing is, though, he should have been able to work already, from the beginning of this month in North America, but since Lucha took a longer hiatus than they expected, the show is still going on, and they still have 3 more episodes of season 3. So, and then in that show, there's the Cueto Cup, and he's in like the semifinals. So they can't. That's the other reason why they don't allow these wrestlers to start wrestling in North America when the show is still being aired. So that's why I'm just trying to do the math. Like, no, it's not going to happen. Because then it would be amazing. Because what are we known for? Like WrestleMania and all these surprises. Surprise people showing up, whether it's an NXT or people's surprises, and it's always big name surprises. And that would be. In a while. Yeah. So I mean, this would have been a big surprise.
Well, we are going to get one surprise. By then, we will know who all will be in WWE 2K18. And you would hope that by then you would get a gameplay footage.
Oh my God. I'm telling you people, this is going to be a horrible fucking game. I have a feeling that it's not going to be anything. It's going to be a legacy edition. People know what I'm talking about when you play FIFAs on the other console. When it's like, oh, just a legacy. We didn't change much. We just added a little this, tweak that. The fact that they haven't shown anything, they haven't talked about anything. Seeing these video packages with no gameplay in it, Kurt Angle and Seth. We've seen this before, and they've showed gameplay. Whether I talked about it off the show, like Ultimate Warrior, they showed him running down and shaking the rope. They showed Sting with the bat and doing all stuff. We didn't see Kurt Angle. We didn't see Seth doing any of this stuff. Something is wrong. Something is wrong, and they know it. So they're like, you know what? Let's just hide behind all this other shit. Let's talk about pre-orders. Let's throw in a damn Cena doll that makes no sense. Let's just see if we can get some pre-orders and sell it. Because once they see this shit, they're gonna get hot. You know, and that's gonna be a problem. Because believe me, if people are like, oh no, it'll be fine. No, because if they had something to show off, they would be excited to show it off. We would have saw something at E3 when they did the redesign of the engine. Remember when they went from the SmackDown versus Raw and they changed everything to just the 2K stuff? They hyped the shit out of that. They're like, look, we changed the camera angle. Look how everything, we slowed it down. You know, and they talked about the grappling system. They incorporated, remember, with the whole tying up, you know, and then the mini game that would come into play. You know, they really hyped into all of that. We didn't see any of that at E3. We didn't see them at E3. We just saw nothing. You know, and then even before, when they would do the panels, even when they had no gameplay, they would show panels. And they had the panels with Cesaro and everybody. You remember that? And Sting was on there, and they were talking to them, and they even had Steve Austin come out to host that panel. We didn't get that. We didn't get any of that. Something is wrong.
Right. No, absolutely right. So let me go ahead and say a few quick things. Well, first and foremost, I would like to give a shout out to Mr. Gary Swaby, who was in the chat, because he says
Gary Swaby.
Yeah, he says that he's buying the game so he can play with me and Dana. So
oh shit,
there you go, Dana. Now you have an opponent to face off against.
I'll be special guest referee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Dana's getting a quick count.
Well, so let me say this real quick. Because I have to give a little bit of an overview for those that just so they know that all things are not being bashed regarding this game. So what we know so far about WWE 2K18, we know it's going to have a creation suite, a my player mode, my career mode, Road to Glory, a new graphics engine, and the new commentary team of Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves. Okay, now the Nintendo Switch version, obviously that is not going to have everything. They did confirm it will have my career mode, it will have a customization suite, and it will have a full roster. Now, it will not have the new graphics engine that they have talked about will be in the regular console editions, and it won't have the Road to Glory mode, which we still don't even know what the hell that mode is. So
now
go ahead.
The WWE Universe mode. Remember that the Universe mode did they rename it?
That's a good question.
You didn't mention Universe mode, and that's been a fixture for a long time.
Well, hey, I mean, maybe it was renamed, or it could still be in there. But I mean, again, these are just based on a little bit of the details that I have in terms of what we know about the game so far. And obviously, just to give people some further context.
The Road to Glory. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, okay, no, go ahead. Tell us what that is.
Players using the My Player character.
Oh, it's got now.
You're having some audio issues.
Yeah. 2K is trying to shut it down. They're trying to shut it down.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
They don't need people knowing that they're getting a whole lot of nothing. It's just big talk. But I heard it say that it has something to do with the My Career, the career mode, which is broken right now. Horrible.
They got that is horrible because, man, I've had a lot of issues with that mode. As I had tried to play, there was a Kenny Omega creator wrestler that somebody made. So I decided that I was going to play as the character to try and, just to compete for a title, starting out with the U.S. title. And it's like, takes forever just to get to that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like you have to maintain, you have to always keep a feud going. Right?
Yeah.
You have to win these matches. Then you have to get your t-shirt sales up. Then you have to incorporate new moves. So you always have to spend money and get new moves and stuff like that. I mean, it just takes so long. It's a grind. It is a grind.
Yes.
To just get a title, and it's just not fun. It's not fun.
They definitely should address some of this stuff in the next game. But just to give people context as to why this is the main discussion today. Now, a few days ago, we saw the first screenshots from WWE 2K18 starring Seth Rollins. And while the screenshots, they look fine or whatever, we still haven't seen gameplay. Now, this is a game that's coming out October. So I think that's a bit of a concern. We're in August now. We haven't seen anything. I did see that they had a lot of dev videos out where the devs are just talking about the game. I didn't see any gameplay in any of those videos.
Not only that, it's like if you're showing off a new engine, show off, the new engine.
Yeah.
Show off some effects of what it can do. What's in this new engine? What is it? I think it's all bullshit. I think they're just saying it. It's not a new engine. I don't believe them.
Yeah. Now I will say this. Now as I've said on this show multiple times, I think we've all said it that we still watch wrestling to a degree because we like it, even though it's horrible. So I may still get. I'm probably still going to get this game, but I definitely want to see what exactly is new about it, because we know when we play these games every year. I get these games, and every year is not really any significant changes. The stuff removed from the game, so on and so forth. So
me too. But the worst that have come out was that 2K18, one with Cena on the front. They had like 30 wrestlers or something in it. It was slow. It was clunky. You remember that? It was so bad. So bad. You know what I mean? It's like, and again, they said the same shit. Oh, new engine, new feature. Like, no, that's just hype talk. It's like, I need to see this, and I'm tired of getting burned. If think about it. All right, so they took the showcase mode out, right, for the last one, and there was no need for whatever, which is bullshit, right? Because then you're left with what? The universe and my career mode. Career mode is nothing but a grind mess. It takes hours and hours and hours just to rank up. They need to fix that. So then there's nothing there. It's an empty game. It's just a bunch of free roaming matches, and maybe you connect online, maybe you don't. Maybe the guy rage quit. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't even bother playing online anymore. So it's like, you need something else to keep people in. And I thought Showcase was fine. It's like, there's plenty of, you don't have to go through all the old story stuff. Do the Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has an amazing story. You get a lot. There's plenty of wrestlers that have their story. And I know a lot of people that like the showcase mode. But we don't see that mentioned. So that Road to Glory, whatever that is, maybe they're removing the name, but they're making it seem like it's something based on just Seth Rollins. But Dana just said that she read that it has something to do with my career.
Yeah, it's an all new mode that they basically kind of got rid of some of the stuff. There's the My Player, which introduces the fighting styles and brand new upgrades in the progression system. The My Career, they changed it a little bit. It's going to be they added new experiences to incorporate a new story in a free roaming backstage area that enables My Player characters to interact with other WWE superstars to help direct the narrative. Ooh.
Oh, we're going to be roaming around like in a weird RPG and talking to people and just seeing dialogue boxes pop up. Oh, shit.
Yeah, and so that's what you're going to basically have. And you have the Creation Suite, which is, we already known that. I got banned for the whole Chris Benoit situation. But there's really nothing new or exciting about it. It just seems really just lazy.
And this game does not need to come out every year. They obviously need at least 2-3 years, or maybe get other teams on it, pull a Call of Duty, because things are not progressing in the development of
I just don't understand the point. If I want a wrestling game, why are you putting in free roaming? I want to wrestle. Yeah. I don't want to sit there and have dialogue with everybody. I don't want to hang out with you and go on road trips. I want to wrestle. Yeah. So I don't understand the justification behind that.
I didn't like the interview shit that they incorporated in this one. It's like, oh, you want to shoot a promo on something? You want to call somebody out? And then you pick the dialogue back and forth, and you got to select it. See everybody miming and stuff like that. No, I thought we moved on past this. I get it. It would be too much to incorporate everyone's dialogue, but then don't incorporate that at all. We don't need that.
We have the creative video, which that goes back with the whole promo situation, and you get to create an arena.
The create arena is fun if you create a show. I always create a show. I create. Whether it's Ring of Honor, New Japan, I create. That's the first thing. Now, all right, let's talk about this. When you guys first get one of these games, what do? I'll start this off. When I get this game, and I download it because I always go digital. I'm all digital, never physical. Right? Those days are over for me. So once I get this, right, I turn it on. I see all the bullshit, and it's like, oh, start a match, start this. I move over, click, click, community, boom. And I just start downloading whatever I could find from my other shows. Then I create a show. I'll create my Ring of Honor, New Japan. I'll create my Lucha Underground. I do all the artwork. I get all the images. And then once it's done, then I incorporate that to Universe. And then I pick my guys. I make sure they're all in feuds. The whole process takes me about almost, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. I don't play a single match. Right? So I get all this shit situated. Once it's the way I like it, then I play. Because Universe mode is pretty much the best mode when it comes to, because anything could happen. It does run-ins, people get injured, people jump shit from other shows. You know, it adds life to it. And I thought that this new 2K was going to be a big challenge for 2K, for Yucks and all of them, because they have to incorporate 205. That's new. They have to incorporate the draft, because I'm sure people are going to want to have a draft of some sort. You know, they're going to have to incorporate maybe some tournaments, do a cruiserweight tournament or a women's tournament, you know, just a tournament mode in general, you know. Hell, I'm sure they were freaking out when they saw that Punjabi prison. They're like, whoa, no, we're not doing that shit, you know. But, you know, there's a lot of other things that they need to incorporate. And I have a feeling none of this is going to be in this game. And that's another reason why they're not advertising it, because we're not going to see all the stars that we're used to seeing right now. And if we do see some of them, we're not going to see them in their current form. You know, things are going to be different. I'd be very surprised if we see Cesaro and Sheamus, you know, as a tag team with their intro of, like, you know, twirling around with the lights and stuff. You know, I don't think we're going to see that. You know, who knows what? We'll probably still see Broad Villains as a tag team. Yeah. You know, and people laugh, but yo, man, I remember it's like it was over a year that the Shield had broken up, and then when that game came out, they were still wearing their Shield gear and they were still together, like, you know. And then the developer said, he was like, the first thing they do in production is all the character models and stuff. That's the first part, and then he says everything comes after that. You know, so if that's the case and the game is in production for a year, because look, it comes out every year, they don't really get to that much time, then you're not going to keep up with it. You know what I mean? And the shit, then come up with a patch or something that just corrects these things. They don't do it. They leave it up to us to do it. They add those features where, oh, go to the create mode. You can make the changes. You know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, one thing I did want to say, I agree with everything that you said, every point that you made. You asked the question, what we normally do when we play these games? The first thing that I do is make sure the roster is as up to date as possible with other people. So if I have to download a creative wrestler, I will do that, depending on whether or not they actually look like the wrestler I actually want in the game. But the thing about it to me is, you know, again, with the updates, it's like, one thing that I really don't understand, obviously this is two different developers, so you really shouldn't make this comparison, but it's both published by 2K. The NBA 2K series, they keep them rosters up to date on a regular basis. Yeah. Whenever there's an injury or whatever, they take that guy out, put in the, you know, substitution, so on and so forth. So for a company like for 2K, who is the publisher, for them to not have the same type of logistics and mindset to also update the WWE stuff is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, because they're promoting it like it's a sim. You know, like this is a simulation of the real thing. I mean, what we're seeing. So if that's the case, then yeah, do that. Update those things. You know, if anything, the whole process should be reversed. Because, I mean, they're not creating everything from scratch every year. And then right toward the end, all right, everything almost done. All right, go out there, go get the new character models, get everything done, and then slap that in. You know, get the new skin, slap that in. What, he no longer wears a hat, he has blonde hair, fix that. You know what I mean? That's all. You know, we just wanted to, and then, yeah, that would be cool if they did that, where if you did universe mode and there was an option for like live universe, like they do it in FIFA and a bunch of other sport games, like you said, NBA, where if you play that mode, if a certain star player is injured on the bench, he's injured in the game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He can't do it, you know? And so then in a way, people are watching and playing at the same time. But you know what that takes? It takes money. It takes time, because then you got to hire other people to do that constant update. You know, and that's the thing. NBA is always in the top 10 when it comes to sales, right? Mm-hmm. It's always there. What did I say? It's making money. But you got to do things to make that money. And I think the fans know what they're getting. They know they're getting a game that's constantly updated throughout the year. So I think that's why it sells so well. It's just like FIFA. They know it's not like, oh, the game's out, that's it. Now it's all you. No, they keep updating it. They update the roster. Stats change. Stats decrease. They do it. You know, they need to see it in that respect. They respect it as like the sport. Then it should go live like that. It should have where, oh, this guy's hurt. If you have that option on and you want it in real life, yeah, Cena's going to be out for a while. You know what I mean? Those type of things. Change things up. But they don't do that. This is to them, this is almost like a toy. This is a toy that comes out every year. Go play it, and then we move on.
That's right. That's right. And one other point that I did want to make also, because I did see a couple people mention this in the chat. We have spoken about this in before. If this is going to be a sports game to some extent, why are they not bringing back the GM mode? Now, I recall when they had the GM mode before, you had to manage the contracts. All of that stuff was fantastic. And then you also was competing against the other brands because it would show you the ratings. Well, this match got like a 5-star rating. So I'm not understanding why they don't bring that stuff back. Because
it makes perfect sense to bring back now because of the brand split.
Yes.
This would be the perfect time to bring that back. A lot of people love GM mode, but I guess and now the thing is, and I feel like we're always being lied to. Everything is a fucking lie. Because whenever they talk to these developers and they talk about when they take things out or they put things back in, oh, well, we listen to our community. Community didn't want this. The community didn't want that. But then like 2 games later, we listened to our community. We're bringing back backstage. But if you look up 2 years back, we took that out because the community wasn't really engaging in the backstage. You know what I mean? They're BSing all the time. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's who knows who are they listening to on this? Because they're not listening to us. They're not listening to people that actually plan this shit. Because if they were, we wouldn't have outdated freaking characters. We wouldn't have all these issues. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is a real shady thing that some companies do where they're like, all right, we have a bunch of features. All right, they just later. Imagine it's like playing, anybody here or people listening play Magic the Gathering, right? You have a deck. You have all these cards. You got a Royal Assassin. That's how far back I go. You have all these crazy characters. You can only use so many in your main deck, right? So what do you do with the other ones? Well, I'll use those the next match. And I think that's what they do. If all these features, they could just dump it in the game and make it awesome and just keep building on them, but they don't. They take some out. They release whatever they have here. They throw those back in next year as new features. They take them out again. They put the other ones that they took out before back in as new features, and they keep cycling it. You know what I mean? But we're technically not seeing anything new. We're just seeing things that return, and they always hyped it. They're like, all right, like even with the last one, you know what? If people wanted it, we brought it back. Backstage, fighting in the crowds. Yep, you wanted it back. We brought it back. Why'd you ever take it out? You know what I mean? Answer that. Let's just go simple. I'm not getting technical here. Why'd you take it out? If people are asking for it back, that means they never wanted it out. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the shit I don't get. But I think this is the way they do it to fool people that think to make us think that these are new features and that they're refreshing it constantly. Because they really aren't incorporating anything new. They're just throwing things back. Even when they were like, oh yeah, we revamped the whole career mode stuff. Hey Dan, you just added dialogue boxes everywhere. You had that way back too. Revamping would be if I can record my voice and then put my own voice for certain triggers. So if someone says, if you have let's say an option says, right, the guy calls you out and says that you're a piece of crap or you're the worst wrestler, what's your response? And then I can say something and it records it. And then I have that in my creative wrestler. So then when that guy says his thing, it automatically triggers and I hear my voice saying, no, you're a piece of shit. Then that's progressing. That's like, oh, wow, look at that. Don't tell me that putting text dialogue boxes is progressing in the storyline. No, it's not. And I think that whole thing, oh, showcase mode, we want to change it up. It wasn't really needed this year. Bullshit. I have a feeling they couldn't get Brock to agree to all kinds of shit. Maybe they wanted to do other things and he didn't want to do it. And they're like, all right, well, we'll just take it out. So So it sucks. You know, because that showcase mode, remember, it was named showcase mode because it was the showcase. That was their highlight. You know, it's like, remember they had the Ultimate Warrior, I mean the Undertaker, the 30 years and the whole thing, you know, and then of course they had the WrestleMania one, you know, they had all, and then the Steve Austin one, which is fun, you know. So you have plenty of guys now that have been there a long time. Even Seth Rollins. I'm telling you, if they don't do one for Seth Rollins this year, bullshit. You know, because then what's the point of him on the front? What's the point of hyping him on it? You know, think about it. Even with Brock, Suplex City, put him on the front. Okay, what was the point of that? What did he do? He was just a playable character in the game.
That's it.
That was it. He didn't. There was nothing special linking to him. But the year before that, Steve Austin was on the front, and then what did we get? Showcase mode. All about him. You know, whatever.
I will just say this, that I feel like when 2K decided to pick up this license, I had high expectations. I was like, oh, this is great, because I saw what they did with the NBA 2K series. But very quickly, you see,
different teams behind the scenes. They're just publishing. Yeah, it's different.
That's it. Yeah.
Different groups, yeah.
Yeah, because Visual Concepts, they do a good job with 2K, with NBA 2K, but obviously, yeah, this is a totally different situation. But Dana, did you have any thoughts? Because
there's more.
Oh, there's more.
Okay, so for any Bray Wyatt fans, it has been confirmed. Get excited! You're getting JoJo. JoJo.
So the Bray Wyatt fans, they'll I guess they will enjoy that, but not as much as Bray Wyatt, because he's the one that's getting all the action.
Oh man.
But also, they announced that there will not be a female My Career mode. They like I was already stated, they upgraded the system, and that there's going to be a new fighting style created for your superstars. You can create your own fighting style, but they are not going to release how they're going to implement that, or the names that you're able to give them, or the names that they're going to have for these different fighting styles into probably, you know, a week after the game is released. They also said that there will be high flying and super heavyweights, and they're going to put in a little bit of like MMA type styles in there. Kind of implied. The free roaming thing, as I already stated before, so if you're really excited about that, you can do that. They also upgraded the My Career Journey, so that if anything with your promos, if you thought was becoming repetitive or lifeless, they upgraded the system to make it a bit more realistic. There's also, they used a promo engine 2.0. They didn't really go into detail as to what that is, but you should get excited for something that they announced without any details. There's also going to be better crowd interaction and crowd chants. If chanting is your thing, they worked on the chants. They also said that they're for YouTube fans. If you're like a huge YouTuber, with the create a superstar, create a video, and create an arena mode, that you'll be able to save and edit highlights with a free roaming camera and filters. Yay! So they also announced that they have upgraded their community creation search system. So if you want to find, you know, people in the community, that'll be easier to do as well.
Yeah, that needed an upgrade.
Yeah, that's one thing that they're very, very proud about. And 2K kept saying, WWE 2K kept saying how realistic this game is going to be. They worked on the lighting and the filters and the different shadows. So in case, you know, that you're that Randy Orton and there's like a shadow of a turnbuckle, it'll show on his face. So yay for shadowing.
Does it say anything about bringing back Create a Move? Because that was awesome.
Actually, you can tweak some of the moves, but that's about it.
Okay, well, one question I have to ask, even though Adams brought this up, did you see anything in that description about, well, yes, the draft mode is definitely coming to WWE 2K18, the draft?
The draft? Oh, yes, sorry. Here's the thing. They did say this. You're not getting a draft mode. Yay! But you have the ability to change the superstars manually.
We can always do that.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. That right there, that again goes to the laziness, as you said earlier. That right there, because I mean, this is a big deal with the draft thing. So terrible.
Yeah, there will be no annual draft to redistribute the superstars. But you know,
that's something. All right, when we play the game, you've all seen this. When you go to do a Royal Rumble or anything, and when it's like, oh, pick the guys, and there's a randomize.
Yeah.
How hard is it to incorporate that into your universe mode or something and call it a draft? You know what I mean? Just set a timer that's like, oh, when you get to a certain point, that the game just tricks randomize. That's it. That would be our draft. You know what I mean? Just shake things up. Fucking lazy.
And before, you guys were talking about GM mode. There is no GM mode, but universe mode is returning.
So universe is coming. Yeah, they can't take that out. That's all they had. If they take that out, that's it. There's no point. It's just, singles matches.
But they said that it'll feature an expanded story system with rewritten logic and several different types of wrestling universes. And it'll have organic stories that can be initiated by users' actions as opposed to canned situations that take the booking control out of the gamer's hands. And universe mode will recognize the brand split by default. But there's no way to override the system so far.
So it's just still doing a lot of what we're already doing.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's pretty much the same with just the updated roster. Yeah, with the updated roster, and that's it.
That's it. You don't want a guy on your show, you have to go in and manually edit him and take him out of that show.
Yep. But with gameplay, there is a new carry and drag system that has been overhauled, and you can reverse certain moves much more easier. And you can carry your opponent around the ring or the arena. So you can change your moves up a little bit. Like say if you have a Hurricanrana and it can reverse into a powerbomb.
They had that before. That was a feature they had before. I remember when you could put them up on your show, and then you had an option. You could switch which way you want to do. If you just want to do like an electric chair, or if you want to slam forward, they had that. So they're bringing something back.
Yeah, but they upgraded it.
All right,
there's a new feeding system that would allow that is also being introduced, where certain moves will leave the recipient in an ideal position for a follow-up move. So you can do a lot of combos.
All right. So did they talk about 205?
No, they did not release any of whether or not who's going to be in what. I don't know if there will be a 205. There's a new elimination chamber. Yay. And the Royal Rumble has been revamped.
That needed to be revamped. I feel like they still haven't gotten that shit right.
It will also support 8-man or 8-woman matches.
Yeah, so, I heard about that 8-man match.
Tag and ladder matches and battle royals, and that's about all that they're going to announce so far.
One other thing I will mention, you guys mentioned earlier about tournaments. I know that they had the King of the Ring in the last game, but you could not have that in the actual universe mode, which I thought was interesting. So if you wanted to create an event and you had to have the King of the Ring, you couldn't even have that in there. And to me, that was ridiculous because, I mean, you're creating your own events, pay-per-view matches. It doesn't make any sense. But that, to know that the brand split will not be something that is actually in the game is very, very ridiculous, because that was the same excuse they had last year where they said, well, when the split happened, they're like, well, you can just manually make the changes, but it's not really fully acknowledged the way it should be. So that's a bit of a concern to hear that. I don't know.
All of this sounds like a lot of talk. We need to see gameplay. We need to see this shit in action. If it was that impressive, the way they wording everything, they would have shown it off. It's not, and they know it's not.
Yeah, and just like you said, because I was at E3, there was no opportunity to see anything at E3. They wasn't even there for that. So that says a lot. Now, Gamescom coming up in a couple of weeks, perhaps, maybe they'll be there. I have no idea.
Remember, they will physically be there, but it doesn't mean that you're going to present anything. They was physically there during Comic-Con, and they released nothing.
Yeah. That's true. Very good point. Very good point.
At Gamescom, they'll be there because of Xavier.
Oh yeah, because Xavier has his up, down, down, and all that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's
It's just everything bothers me with this, and then I wonder like what are they going to put them behind the paywall? You know, because we had what was it, Shinsuke and some other dudes, the club. You know, they were behind that paywall as additional DLC. When before it was always like Hall of Famers, but then now they're putting current roster guys, you know, behind it. And they did. I understand before with Samoa Joe, and he had just showed up, and they're like, "All right, we'll put him." But once Shinsuke, I'm like, "Come on, Shinsuke's been there. The club was already active on TV, and so did you just decide to take those guys out and put them in a separate, you know, $10 pack?" You know, before it's like you would buy these things. It was like, you know, Hall of Famers, you know, Roddy Piper and all of those, you know, Big Boss Man. But now you're taking guys that are active. You know, so it sucks.
I can't wait to see who those DLC characters are, because my guess is Roderick Strong will be one of them.
I wouldn't be surprised if Aleister Black.
Yeah, and that would suck if so, because that would make it. You know, I wouldn't like that, but I could see that happening.
Or Sanity, I could see them doing something like that with Sanity. I could see them doing something. It's fucked up. You know, I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, we'll see what happens. Obviously, we need to see gameplay. That's the main thing. So I would hope that we will see some gameplay before SummerSlam, by SummerSlam. But if not, then
you know, it must be still selling. You know, at least at a decent rate because they're not really changing the studios up or doing anything.
Yeah,
you know, I mean they've been making these games. The same studio's been developing these games longer than Bungie has been making anything like, you know, from the Halo series and then with Destiny and all that. I mean, this is a long run that Yucks has with this. But they need to just split it up. You know, like I said before with the Call of Duty, get some other studios and, you know, spread it out. You know, because I mean, it's sad it's the only wrestling game in town besides Fire Pro. You know, this is it. You know, it's upsetting. You know, because it's like, all right, well, we hope for so much. We know we're not going to get it all, but we just hope. You know, and then we get less than what we hope for.
With WWE itself and all of the wrestling that they produce, we hope for more, but we don't get it.
But I will say one thing. Just like you say, how Vince McMahon doesn't really think that he has competition now, so he can just put out whatever type of product he wants. This is very much aligned with 2K in regards to how they treat this game.
Yeah.
They don't have any competition, so they will put out whatever the hell they want, and they'll be like, well, this is good enough because no one's going to tell us we can do it better. So,
right, we need New Japan. Come on now. You're in Japan. There's got to be some studios out there. Get the guys who did No Mercy and shit. Come on.
Yeah.
There's another game, another wrestling game, something.
We'll see. So, any final thoughts to say on this topic before we wrap up today's show?
No.
Bad.
Just I don't know.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more WWE 2K18. Maybe we'll see another screenshot of Kurt Angle next week, and you know, instead of the gameplay footage that people have been asking for.
I never saw the big deal with screenshots in gaming in general. Like, why are you showing us screenshots? I don't care about the screenshots. I don't take the screenshots. I want to see gameplay. I do not care about damn screenshots.
Oh, well, that's a good question. Hey, I guess I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But that wraps up our show for this week. Thank you all for checking out today's show. Thank you to everybody that's been in the live chat. We definitely hope you'll be back again next week. Also want to again give a shout out to Mr. Adam Vale because it is his birthday today, so he needs to be celebrating.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
As for final shout outs, Dana, you have any final words or shout outs that you would like to give?
Shout out to the listeners and anyone who's brave enough to watch SummerSlam followed by the female tournament right after SummerSlam. So you are brave.
Hey, that's going to be a lot of time well spent. That's what you say, right? Yeah. Absolutely. And Mr. Vale, you have any shout outs or final words?
Yeah, you know, just go out there, watch more wrestling. I mean, there's Lucha Underground is on Netflix. A lot of people have Netflix. Watch it. Just, you know, watch it. If you can in your market, look up Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is great. If you're in West Coast, look up PWG. I mean, New Japan has their network, you know, their show on Access. I mean, there's other wrestling out there, and it's great to watch this because then you'll see where WWE is plucking all their talent from. You know, so just watch this stuff. There's a lot of other alternatives out there. And a lot of great wrestling out there, you know. And shout out to the Throwdown guys. You know, we'll be on tomorrow doing Throwdown questions. And yeah, thanks everybody for listening, watching. You know, talk to wrestling.
Absolutely.
And shout out to the Woken Hardys who are no longer broke.
Oh, see, there we go. That's one thing we didn't talk about. I forgot all about that. And that's something that makes sense. I never understood why they kept hanging on this broken. It's such a generic term. You could use anything else. You know what I mean? Because it's all about the merchandising of the broken. Fuck that. Put anything else in there and you can still act crazy. Because they don't have copyrights to them just being crazy. You know, so that's it. So it makes sense. Just put Awoken, fine. Now he could talk all crazy. You know, now they have to figure out a way to kill Jeff again. You know, and he can come back as zombie Jeff, and it'll be cool. And Brother Nero, maybe they can't use Brother Nero. Maybe they have to call him something else. Call him Brother Jeff. There you go. Done. You know, and it'll be fine.
Can he go back to his old name? Wasn't he like Surge when he was like 16?
Or Willow? Didn't he do Willow? Wasn't that his?
Willow, he was Surge.
Surge. See, there you go. Yeah, do something else. Act wacky. You know what I mean? It's like that gimmick caught on, but think about it. It wasn't active that long. It was probably about a year or two in. So it wasn't something long term. It's still fresh. You could still tweak things and change it. You know, and I hope everything does kick off. I hope we see that, and I'm sure if they do go full out on it, they will be introduced as that on SummerSlam. You know, but yeah, hopefully we get that. You know, and they don't fuck it up. Because that thing is, they had all full creative control over that, which is why Matt had the whole big lawsuit thing or issues going on over it, because he felt he did it all. It was all his idea, you know. And if Vince and them let him do his thing and create those weird videos, it'll be great. But if they start messing with it, yeah, it's gonna ruin it. But we'll see.
We'll see. All I gotta say is I can't wait to buy my Stay Woke T-shirt whenever they decide to release that. So we'll see what happens. But thank you all for checking out this week's show. We'll talk to you all next week.
Latest.